Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oh my god, YouTube. Wow, I'm already messing up. Hopefully this is working. I'm like actually gonna hold my mic today and we're gonna see how this goes. So it might be a little bit much, in which case I'm very sorry. Maybe just turn down the volume. But we're back with another build. It's getting really close to Christmas time, so we're doing another wintry build. Here I'm building in, oh my goodness, it's the word that comes with get together. It starts with a W. I am totally blanking on it, but we're building on a little island. It's a little 20 by 20 lot. I'm building a tiny home, kind of inspired by a gingerbread home. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with how this one turns out. Like, it's cute, but it's not at the same time. So, yeah. But the vibes inside are nice, you know? But the outside, a little bit to be desired, just because, I don't know. The creativity for the outside was very low, I guess, on my part. Maybe that's why I'm like, some to be desired. And also, there's only so much you can do with a tiny home because you are restricted by tiles. And by tiny home, I mean this is a micro tile, or a micro home, because it only has 32 tiles. Which is tiny, 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 tiny. It's fully functional though. It has a kitchen, it has a bathroom. There's no sink in the bathroom, but there's a sink in the kitchen. So there should be no mistakes or issues there. But yeah, other than that, there's not much going on. On the inside, I'm trying to like push my comfort zone. I used to always use that jungle adventure tile that I'm using in that little tiny bathroom that's like a 2x2. And here I'm like trying to scoot the toilet into the wall, being like, oh no, yes, it'll work, and try to squeeze the sink in, but I'm like, it's not even worth it. Like, I'm just can put a sink on the outside. However, I did mess around with the kitchen layout a long time, and then I just realized it would take up way too much space, so I decided not to do that. But the main space is really just like one big open room, which makes me kind of think that this was like one of those like sheds that people flip into houses. I don't know if you guys are like on that side of TikTok or whatever. I've like seen those things where they just turn like those sheds you can get from like Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, and then they just like insulate it and make it into a house. And that's kind of the vibes of this house. I did unintentionally. Also, I totally picked that like horse ranch bed, not realizing that it had this pine tree print, but it's literally perfect for this build. It's so good. The person who I imagine lives here is kind of like an author, which I mean feels very stereotypical for like, oh, this little cabin that's off in the woods in the middle of an island, and they're gonna be a writer, and I have this big bookcase with this ladder, but I have never used this bookcase, and it might have came in a pack, or I think it's from one of the stuff packs with the ladder on it. I really wish that they would have given us one without the ladder on it, and maybe they could, but I didn't search that hard. So I could like make it seem like it was a whole wall and not repeat the ladder. But it's so good, and I think it's so cute to use in this tiny home. And now we're getting into the kitchen, and where I'm trying to figure out where I want the layout to be, and we're kind of gonna go everywhere with it, but I kind of do include these really rustic tiles and those rustic like stove and fridge. Oh, also update, I'm not even sure if I like told you guys about my whole stove debacle, where my stove was broken, and it was just like life was pooping on me. And I mean, life is still pooping on me, but it's slowly getting better, or maybe I'm just getting used to it and it's not hammering the fist quite as hard. Not that, no, we won't make that kind of joke. But yeah, it's a teensy bit better. I'm sorry for this awkward cutout. I'm hoping that I hopefully got it right. I hate it so much when my sister annoys me or like bothers me in the middle of a recording. But as I was saying, life is getting a teensy bit better. But as the little rant I was going on is that I finally have a stove that works. And it is so nice. I like cooked supper on it tonight. I made myself some mac and cheese, or I made us some mac and cheese. I didn't make myself some mac and cheese. I made both of us mac and cheese. But yeah, I'm hoping that cut wasn't too terrible. I suck at doing it. I hate it, like, because I have to find like the right spot in the video, because like I'm recording in one app and I really should just split my screen. I don't know why I'm not thinking that just splitting the screen, but also I'm not like fast enough to pause both and then to like find the exact spot where I like would be able to go back and like overwrite the same audio without having to restart. Anyway, I'm complaining about stuff that I actually enjoy, making it seem like I don't. But we finally got the kitchen layout. I did it off to the one side here, and I put a little fun chair in. Oh my gosh, I totally love what I did with this chair. I mean, it won't be for a little bit, I don't think. Also, I used this rug from one of the stuff packs. I think it's Vintage Glamour. Because I had recently just watched, I'm so behind. Oh my God, I have to order Little Simsies merch. But I'm so behind on Little Simsy YouTube videos just because I've been listening to Percy Jackson audiobooks, and so I haven't been consuming as much Little Simsy content. But she did one recently where she was ranking every single rug in The Sims 4, and she's like put it like in a bottom tier, and I was like, I actually love that rug. I need to use it more. And so here I used it more. You also see me trying to use the typewriter, but it's just so big. It takes up so much of the table, so I end up just using a tablet, even though I imagine that they would have like a typewriter. But it just did not fit. And in there I put a little TV. I've also been using that TV really recently, and then we're going back into the bathroom and adding some finishing touches in there. That's kind of one weird thing about tiny homes. Just because you don't have enough space, you want to like go around and put like the main fixtures in, and then go back around and like actually clutter up and make the space look a little bit better. But yeah, that's like mostly what's been going on. I don't know. Where else can I talk about? Oh, we've started the semester review process and the children hate me, but what else is new? Yeah, I won't complain too much about that. I just burns my gears a little bit, but at last, this is the career I've chosen, and I really do enjoy it most days. It just, you know how they can be. I mean, maybe you don't know how they can be, but I'm sure you can imagine how they can be. Anywho, we're getting back out into I don't even know, like the living area. It's literally like the entire house, just not including the bathroom. I put up that little framed book. I imagine maybe that was like their first publishing. Excuse me. And then I put up a gallery wall, and I add a little bit more to it. I did the little cat print. I think maybe this person would have a cat, but also there's like no room in this tiny house. You could put the cat lot trait on, and then you'd have like strays come around, which is like kind of fun, but also kind of sad, because like what are all these stray cats doing on this island, and how are they gonna get literally anywhere? But you know, that seems like kind of their problem. And I'm, like I said, I'm just going around cluttering it up, adding some plants everywhere. I go and add some blinds. These blinds I've been using so much. I think they're the growing together. They just are like perfect, and I'm not sure why I'm using them so much. I used to like hate them, but now it's like, this is like, I don't even know how many builds I've used them in. They just like work so nice. I really wish we had more blind options, or that they like fit the windows properly. And maybe this is just me not having the right packs or knowing where to look for blinds, but I don't know. I just also hate the idea of like them, like I don't like blinds being closed. Like in real life, I like blinds being closed in like my bedroom, but like I don't actually want blinds to be closed. I want the natural light to come in. And so maybe I'm just carrying that into The Sims, but I don't know, possibly. I also put a little buddy on the bookshelf. Oh my God, that's so cute. And I put little games down there. I imagined that I imagine they're a little bit of a nerd, so they're into board games, but that's just me projecting. I also put up these really cool prints from Realm of Magic, like the moon phases, and then like the kind of like potion ingredients, I guess you might consider them. And then I cut off the bed. I don't think I've put no, I haven't put. I end up, what I was talking about earlier that I really liked that I did with this chair is I put in, yeah, right here. I put a book in it. Like they just rested their book down like they're going to like answer the door or something. There's also a back door with some like boots. I imagined that maybe they have a garden in the back. I did not include that in any way. One bad thing about winter is that you completely forget what you're doing or like anything exterior. So we'll get there in a minute. We're just going to finish cluttering up this dresser. I put some bathroom stuff because she obviously doesn't, or they, I don't know who lives here, but don't like have any bathroom space. And so I just put like all their bathroom stuff on top of this sink, or on top of this dresser. No sink. The sink's in the kitchen. And now we're on the outside where I'm going and like kind of messing around with the outerior. You know what? Sure. Why not the outerior? The exterior. And then we add in some trees from Debug that kind of match the environment, and some bushes. I end up not doing terrain paint. I completely forgot that, which is another thing I'm talking about where like winter sucks, is because you just forget to do things like that. I also put little stones going up to the front of the house, in a mailbox, and then like a bonfire, and then I think a bear rug outside and the telescope. Yeah, that's the right word, telescope. And that's pretty much it. This build is available on the Sims 4 gallery, or you can find it with all of the things that are in the description if you want to find it. Thank you so much for listening to my video. I know that this was a relatively short one, kind of a medium length, I would say, but I do appreciate you sticking around, especially if you've gotten this far. I post every Wednesday and Sunday, although I do apologize. My post for Wednesday accidentally went to Thursday last week, or this past week, but usually it's every Wednesday and Sunday. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. This is so cringy. The call to action is wild. I also put in some bushes, and I'm like going like back and forth between like, sometimes I'm like, I actually don't know how much of it, like it shows me how much is left, but I'm like, how long is it going to take me to do all the things that I need to do before the end of the video? You think I'd be better at time management with like speaking and stuff, being a teacher, but in reality, I'm not. I have actually no idea how time progresses, and that just might be the neurodivergent inside of me with no time sense. But I do have better time sense than some of my friends, so maybe, I don't know. But yeah, we're getting towards the end of the video now, and I'm going to once again try to get it all nice and wrapped up here for you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!